The next tab is the Memos tab. Now the Memos has 5 options to it. The first one is the display. I can create a pop-up window by selecting this option that anytime anybody pulls up the patient due S, they'll get this message. I can type up to 100 characters here, and when I'm finished, be sure to save, and then I'll add it as a line item up here. Now if you need to make any changes to this, be sure you don't single click, but double click, and it'll populate the field down here, and then make your changes. And be sure to save. As you can see, in addition to the display memo that I've created, I also have one for a payment plan. If you recall, back in the Utilities menu, in the System Defaults, you have the option that anytime a patient is set up on a payment plan, to actually create a pop-up memo for you. Down over here, click on the Memos and Notes, and I selected Yes. Now I want to show you an example of what will happen when you pull up the patient due S. Click in the field and type in the last 3 letters of the patient's name. Hit the Tab key and it'll pull up the closest matching. I know it's chart number 5 for Mr. Due. Double click and I'll automatically get my pop-up window. If I was the front office and I pulled up the name, I could see that we need to get a copy of the insurance card. Now you can go ahead and click OK and it'll disappear, but it'll keep popping up over and over again until you actually double click so it populates the text field down here, and then click on the delete button to get rid of it. The next feature, hidden, is the same practically as the display option, except that whenever you go ahead and type in any text and it pops up the window, you won't see the text that you have here. All you'll see is an asterisk. And the reason behind that is that some offices may have their monitors face towards the patient or other people that when they get a pop-up memo, they don't want them to see. So instead, it'll have little asterisks telling the user to come to the Memos tab when the patient or anybody's not looking over their shoulder, and then see and view the memo for themselves. The next feature, the statement feature, any text you type in here will actually print on the patient's statement. Insurance, this will print in box 19 of the HCFA claim form, any text you type here. For doctors to share patient information with other doctors, usually they'll have the patient sign a consent form. And so you can select that option and type in the text and then set the expiration date for when you'll need to have the patient come back in and sign another consent form. You can see I already have one up at the top here, but nonetheless I can add more if need be. And then double click on the date and be sure to save. Now you can see the expiration date. When it comes to that and it goes past the date, this line item will be removed, and you can keep track of them after they expired in the consent screen. In addition to keeping track of when the patients gave their consent, you can also scan into the computer the actual consent form, and it will be listed right here. Now I don't have a consent form to show you, but I have, if it was a consent form, all I have to do is double click on it, and it will pop up, well, a nice pretty sunset.